Man, I hate seeing a rifle without a scope mounted on it. Hi everyone, it's a 4-Gun Guy. And today we're going to talk about a scope that was sent to me by my friends at Discovery Optics. And this is the ED PRS Gen II 5-25 by 56 first focal plane scope. Now, if you look in the archives, you'll see that I did a review of their Gen I scope a while back, and it was a pretty good budget scope. I really liked it. So I want to do the same review of their new Gen II because from what they've told me, there's been some improvements on this one. So I want to get into those. So let's do a quick unboxing, then we'll look at the scope specs. Then I do want to get out to a range and then get some range views. It's going to be mounted on the 6.5 Creedmoor, my wife's rifle. And then we'll have some final thoughts. And by the way, even though rings come with this scope, they actually come with the scope, they also sent me a set of their, quote, better 34 millimeter rings to try out. So I'll use these instead of the ones that come in the box, and we'll get an idea of how good those are as well. So if you're ready to go, let's get to it. All right, let's talk about what's in the box. Now there's an image I'm going to put up here somewhere that's kind of going to show all this stuff as well. But what comes in the box? We have a cloth. We have the scope itself, very nicely made, all aluminum, a sunshade. We have the mounting kit. Remember, this is the one that I said on the other one. It's kind of like the Zico mounting kit, but they give this to you for free. It's got a lens cap or lens caps. Actually, it has multiple lens caps because it has a set of flip-ups. The front flip-up is on there, and then it's got a regular cap on the back, but I can actually put a flip-up cap back here that they send with it. It also comes with a set of rings, as I said before. It's got a tool, an adjustment tool that just fell on the floor. And we've got a pen for lens cleaning. Oh, and it also comes with a throw lever that I can screw onto this thing. It's down in there. I'll get it a little later. So really, I mean, it comes with everything you need. As I said, it does come with rings. Okay, I'll go down this. This is from the spreadsheet I usually build for these things, but you can find this on their website as well. So let's look at the specs on this. Price $399. I think it's on sale right now for $359. That's really inexpensive. Warranty, lifetime on workmanship. So it's, you know, if you drop it, it breaks, whatever, send it in. They will either fix it or send you a new one. Now I'm going to pause here and say that I had a comment from one of my viewers who said he was having kind of challenges contacting them and getting them to help him. My contact there, I told her about it and she said, get me his name, his order number, all that, and I'll make sure that he gets taken care of. So he may have just gotten dropped through the cracks, I don't know, but this is what their warranty says. I've had good luck communicating with them. The glass is Japanese glass, so this isn't Chinese glass. It's Japanese glass in this thing. I don't know why I don't have it up front here. So it's ED, 56 millimeter objective, 5-25 magnification, a 34 millimeter tube, which I like because now I don't have to go out and buy whole different mounts because all of my scopes are 34 millimeter, and that way I can just move from rifle to rifle and mount to mount. It is first focal plane, CR2 2032 battery, good field of view, good eye relief. It's black. The weight is, it's a heavy scope. It is a heavy scope. This scope is probably 8 to 10 ounces heavier than other scopes. Now, I'm going to say, for PRS, I don't care because I want a heavy rifle anyway. So the weight of the scope really doesn't matter for me. If you're hunting, might be a little heavy for you. I don't know, but I don't know that you're going to use this for hunting anyway, right? You've got a specific scope for that that you're going to use. Aircraft grade aluminum, length 17 inches. The parallax, I like the parallax on this at 25 yards. It's one of the least parallax distances for scopes like this if you wanted to run this on like a 22 for 22 competition. Good option for that. Waterproof, shockproof, fogproof, magnification variable, and so forth. And we already saw what came with it, so I won't run into that. What I want to do now is let's take a closer look at the scope itself and kind of look at the turrets and how it's built. All right, well, from a build standpoint, and guys, I'm not just saying this because, you know, they sent it to me. It's a very well-made scope. The numbers line up on the turrets, which is a good thing. Some of these scopes that I've seen and look at, I'm like, well, your turrets don't even line up with the markings. So how am I trusting that? Turrets line up. It does have windage. The windage turret, I like the fact that it's the same size as the elevation turret. So easy to get to, easy to dial. Click-wise, that's the wind. Elevation. Are these super clicky? No. But are they super mushy? No. I like where these are. I like the fact that I can feel it when I click 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. And I can hear it, but it's not that click that I'm forcing it to move that much. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but some of these scopes, they've gotten so hung up on the clicks that they've actually made the turrets a pain in the neck to turn. And that's not the case here. It does have a zero stop capability on the elevation turret. So once you get it set to 0, it will come back to 0. These are not locking turrets. So if you're looking for a turret that you lift up on, turn, set down, and lock, this isn't that. I'm going to pause here and say that in the PRS shooting that's going on today, most of the shooters are now getting rings so their locking turrets don't lock. So it's just personal preference. Myself, I really don't care anymore if the turrets lock or not. It's a nice feature, I guess, but I never touch these turrets even while I'm moving from stage to stage or on a prop. I've never had a prop move my windage turret or my elevation turret. So that really doesn't matter that much to me. The parallax knob, again, I like the fact that if you look at this, it's a larger ring here, so it's very easy to get, very well knurled. All of these rings, turrets are very well knurled. I don't know if you were able to see that or not, but they are. Very easy to move the parallax adjustment, which is nice. It does have, these are some features, guys, that on a $400 scope. It does have an illuminated reticle. It has off in between illumination settings. So you just don't see a lot of this stuff on these lower priced scopes. Moving back to the ocular back here, the zoom, very easy, very nice, but it's not that I'm going to bump this and it's going to come out of zoom. It's not. Very easy to zoom. The ocular back here, very easy to adjust. It is not locking, but again, I wouldn't expect that on a $400 scope. So there you have it. As I said, it comes with these flip-up caps. And again, it's a pretty straightforward setup. And to re-zero is very straightforward as well. You use the tool here, you take this top cap off, you adjust it first, zero it. Once you're zeroed, you take this cap off, you set the 0, put this cap back on at 0, and you're zeroed. So it's a pretty simple process to re-zero this thing. Before we go, I want to talk about the reticle. Now, if you've watched any of my scope videos, you will know that I am a reticle fanatic, right? Because to me, that's one of the most important components of the scope, because it's going to help you in competition decide what you need to do from either a elevation, If you're holding elevation on a stage, you have to, from a wind hold or wind adjustment or whatever it is. If you don't have the right reticle, you're going to be sitting there wandering around on it trying to figure out what to do. The reticle on this Discovery optic is very, very similar to my Gen III reticle, the Zico reticle. It's got what I love, the 1/2 mil mark on the windage plane there. So when you're looking at this thing, I'll put it up here, right? You've got a nice center dot that comes out in 2/10 increments along the axes, and you've got that 1/2 mil mark on the windage. And to me, that's just really, really important. I like the illumination of it. I'm not one of those guys that wants the whole reticle illuminated, so I like it when they only illuminate a portion of the reticle, if I'm ever going to use that at all. And I have motion at the front door, but we'll just let them knock. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about the reticle and say how much I really like what they've done with it. And let's get outside. All right, well, I've got the Discovery optic mounted on my wife's 6.5 Creedmoor. This has been a heck of a day. Battery's going dead. It's hot out. Feels like factor is about 103 right now. So what I'm going to do is I've got the trigger cam set up. We're going to shoot at a target about 500 and some yards out. And then I want to just take a look at some of the targets around this part of the range. This is what's known as the ridge. So let's do that. I'm going to start recording. I didn't even zero this scope, so I'm kind of like playing things by ear here. So we're gonna see how close we can get to this target at 534 yards, I think it is. Let's open the bolt first. Let's get on in here. Let's make sure we are recording. We are. All right. Now, let's see what we got here. That was just off. Now, as I'm shooting, let's talk about this scope. So as I said, I love the reticle, right? That reticle with the 1/2 mil mark, the little center dot. I like the numbering that starts at 2. I like that they have a little gap there at the 1 mil mark on the windage and on the elevation, so you know that it's a mil. So I really like some of the things that they've done here. Let's come over here and see what we got. And that was off to the left. So we're playing marine shots here, left, right, left, right. And let's see. I don't even know. I think my elevation's good. It looks like it's good. Let's give it about 4/10. Still off. Okay. And again, folks, I am just wasting ammo here. So let's come over here now, 4/10. Maybe I was off the other way. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I'm not even going to worry about that. Let's try straight up. Just, just off. You know what? We're going to hit this thing. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to hit this thing because we're recording here. Oh, okay. I have a feeling that I'm going over it, but I can't really see. So let's do this. We didn't hit the target. I don't care. Let's take some looks at some of the other things around here. Now, I am at about, I'm pretty zoomed in. I'm 20 something here. Let's come out to about 15 power. And I've got to tell you, this is a nice scope. Remember, this is a $400 scope, $400. Be there, I think that's about 500 yards. The 550 plate rack is 550 yards. Let's go to the 650. That's the 650 plate rack right there, the first one. The second one, oh, look at that, it's got a bird on it there. The second plate rack is 750, and again, we're at about 20 power or so. Swing over here, I believe that's the 800 plate rack. Let me get the parallax adjusted just a little bit. And I don't know if the trigger cam's gonna bring all this detail out as much as I hope it does. But I'm going to zoom all the way in. So there's 25 power, adjust the parallax a little bit. And, you know, look, guys, at $400, if you were starting PRS, I don't think you can. And I know, you know, they sent this to me. I get that. I'm not trying to sell it. I don't get anything if they sell one of these. They just sent it to me to review. I reviewed the other one before, and I liked it. So let's see. That water sprinkler out there, oh, I want to say that's got to be about 2,000 yards maybe. 1,500 to 2,000 yards, because it's way out there. I know that one is probably 2,000. That other one's probably 1,200. But anyway, look, I like what I'm seeing here. Let's come back to some of these closer targets in the grass. We shoot these targets a lot. And again, I'm zoomed out a little bit. If I came into about where I usually am, which is about here, 20 power, those are nice targets. Those are nice and easy to see. Again, I love the reticle. All right, look, let's get back to the shop. Let's have some final thoughts on this Discovery optic. Well, final thoughts are pretty easy to do here because I'm telling you guys, for $400 or under, this scope is, in my opinion, worth the money. So remember, you get the scope, you get the rings. Now these are their better rings that they sent me to test, and I really love them. Loved how easy it was to get the scope mounted. These are high, which is what I like. They asked me about that. But the scope itself, it's for $400, I'm still blown away. And it's not because this was sent to me. It really is not. You know me enough, and I've got some videos coming up about some products that are going to be kind of iffy. When I tell them, when you send this to me, I'm going to give it an honest review. I have another video coming up after this and another optic scope that I'm reviewing. I just happened to be at the range at the same, with all three scopes at the same time. So I did an overview of all three of them, and I did looks through all three of them with the trigger cam. So we'll see how that turns out, but it'll be interesting. But look, Discovery Optics, this is their PRS Gen II, their ED PRS Gen II 5 to 25, first focal plane. Just some of the highlights. I love the turrets. Already told you that. They're tactile, they're big, they've got really good knurling on them. I love the parallax adjustment. It was easy to adjust the parallax. I was able to stay within 300-400 yards without having to really adjust anything on that. The zoom, very smooth. I think the glass is very good. I'm telling you, for $400, this glass, I think, goes up against some $1,000 scopes, even some little higher scopes than that. Reticle, an absolute home run, and I'm not just saying that. You know, if you watch my other videos, the reticle is a huge thing for me. I love what they've done with this reticle. I wish some scope companies would copy that or give us something very similar to it, and I think their products would be better as well. So look, let's go over the differences between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. I jotted those down. Less edge distortion. I saw that. I did put the Gen 1 up against this. There was less edge distortion in this one, so they have done that. A flatter image. I think the image in this one is a little flatter, but it wasn't that noticeable to me between this and the Gen 1. Better eye box. Yes, I do believe that there's this Gen 2 has a much better eye box than the Gen 1. Very easy to stay behind. I didn't get lost. Even up at high magnifications, it was pretty easy to stay there. And then they've got better brightness and resolution. I did see that because I put both of them up against in the backyard, and I did see that this Gen 2 seemed to be a little brighter than that. I suspect it's because of the, I believe it is Japanese glass in this, so I believe it's because of that glass. So look, thanks for hanging in there with me. I think this is a good scope. If you're starting out, if you want to shoot for a year or so in PRS 22 or centerfire, I think this scope can handle it. This was on the 6.5 Creedmoor, and I sent probably 100 rounds through this with this scope on it. No loss in tracking. I was hitting targets out to 800 yards, so good scope. But I think, again, you're just starting out. You've got a child that's just starting out. Maybe you've got a youth that you want to get started in the sport. Maybe you're starting them in 22. This won't break the bank. It'll give them a very good scope. And I'm going to kind of digress here. The thing I like about this scope is it's going to get them used to a very good reticle. A very good reticle. So when they get to higher end scopes, if that's where you want to go with it, and they get really hooked, they'll be used to a reticle like this. So thanks for watching, everyone. Again, thanks to my folks at Discovery Optics for sending this to me. I really appreciate it. And I've got some playlists down below so you can peruse the categories, so you don't have to go through all 190 videos of mine. You can just go to optics, go to rifles, go to PRS practice, and so check those out. Likes, thanks, comments, and the subscriptions, of course. I really appreciate all of them. And until next time, everyone, shoot straight.